somewhat divisive about a particularly sadistically divisive group of people that is a large group. I just want to present this again. While I recognize that Christianity was a big part of colonization, nasty things, violence towards others, you know, I wish more people in the United States, Europe, different places like where people have it really good and everything and talk about legislation, human rights, what should be going on. I wish more people focused, sorry to toot my own horn, but I was raised Southern Baptist, going to church regularly, even though I have some sort of sick feelings from it and everything, just different things that came from it and different, you know, discipline and feelings of fear and doubting myself and, you know, neglecting my own needs and everything. Yeah, I wish more people focused on who Christ supposedly was, the radical empathy, the love, the sitting, like, being, it's okay, everyone's a sinner, I'm here for you, you're a good person, you're trying your best, like, that, loving all sorts of people and wanting unity and fighting against oppressive systems, that was what it's about. More of that, less about cherry picking for your bigoted garbage views that are nothing, not at all in line with Christ. And I understand that there's a big point too. It's like none of us are Christ, right? If they're, yeah, again, I'm not Christian, so I don't see that as the true way anyway. But if you were to, wouldn't you want to try your best to just live these paths and everything that are loving and accepting and really about that? There are so many Bible verses. There are far more Bible verses about, you know, doing the right thing, or like even giving your money away when you have far more than you need. There's more about, you know, people being punished and everything for being extremely greedy than there are for people being homosexual. And again, a big reason not to be Christian. When you get to the bottom of everything, when you learn that LGBTQ existence, whether it's transgender or homosexual or whatever, that there are biological factors, there are things beyond our control, there's prenatal hormone exposure, there is actual genes that make it more likely for you to be this person automatically. There's brain activity. Of course, there is some nature versus nurture, or both intertwined and everything. Like, oh, you know, I see these things and that makes sense to me. Of course, we interact with the world around us, but so much of this is not a choice. So once you learn that, you just think about that for 10 seconds. Be like, well, if no one chooses to be gay or trans, well, trans isn't even in the Bible, let's just go with gay. If no one chooses to have same-sex attraction, it's just there. It's just automatic. Does God make mistakes? If God made someone a certain way, how would that be a sin? Unless if he's cruel. You know, it doesn't make sense. Oh, you have to forgo everything. You have to just play pretend. Be single your entire life. Don't fight any, you know, or fight all of your urges and everything. Don't love who you're naturally attracted to, right? It can be asexual too. Of course there are asexual homosexuals. Nothing wrong with some sluts. Nothing wrong with people doing what they love and having a good time and feeling this. I think that is sacred. I think that spirituality can be intertwined with sexuality, very much so. When you are uniting with the person that you love so much and you're being together, like, and none of it is off limits. To me, it's like, I just don't get it. But yeah, I really wanted to stick with that at the beginning. Just that major point, you know, I wish more people. There's just a lot of that in the United States and Europe and stuff where it's like you cherry pick and you're like, okay, this is what I'm going with. And the pro-life thing, again, pro-life is pro-death. It's saying, hey, If you're totally against abortion completely, if you want it to be outlawed, that is going to be the death of adults in order, sometimes the babies too. Do you recognize that? Do you recognize that? Yeah, when you force birth, when it's unnatural, when it's going to be a sickening time where no one will survive, like, yeah, no one survives that. And do you understand how sickening, how evil? That is not biblical. That is not Christ-like. How evil it is to force a young girl who's just like barely in puberty to give birth to her child that will be a product of just the worst sort of human behavior, just abuse. Like, they're just things that don't add up. But yeah, with that, with the pro-life thing, with the, you know, yeah, homosexuality and everything, it just doesn't make sense. And there is, again, there's some, you can have a sort of view on Christianity that is more old school and more about the love and the fighting oppression and the unity and all that. But again, recognize that too, that people like me, as part of my bloodline, different things, around the world, Christianity was used to oppress people and was used, it's involved in colonization and forcibly turning people into who they are not and everything. There's all sorts of myths. There are all sorts of myths, all sorts of religions that have so many things that it's like, okay, sort of universal tenets, right? Where it's like, this is beautiful. Okay, there's something good here. Yeah, there's a lesson to be told here, but don't just take it all one thing. Take it all with a grain of salt. Really reflect over things, what makes the most sense. I just don't understand the tradition of ignorance to where it's like, this is how it has to be because it's like, this is what I was told. That is dangerous. That is a dangerous path to just question nothing. I know a lot of people secretly deep down, they act like they're so faithful, but there's a part of them in their brain or their soul, because I do believe in the soul. I'm not Christian, but things are very strange, and there are strange circumstances and the way things operate. I think that there's a lot going on. I think there's a spiritual aspect to things. But yeah, I know that some of these people do, deep down in their soul, in their mind, question that. They're like, well, what if I'm wrong? What if actually this isn't the right way? It's just like giving me comfort and giving me something to hold on to. It's like, it makes me feel better that I know, I'm doing something because it's, all these people have told me it's the right thing to do, but I'm not special either. I'm not trying to shit on anybody. There's all sorts of reasons why people in their minds and souls operate a certain way, but I just want to encourage conversation and especially empathy and love for all sorts of people. You cannot just shut out everybody and try to preach based on hatred and be like, oh no, I'll pray for, like you say you pray for gay people and stuff, but what you really mean is, oh, who I naturally was born as is superior to who you were born as. Some people will call it a choice, blindly, because it's not a choice. It's not a choice. I've already pointed that out. It's automatic and it's based in genes and prenatal hormone exposure, all these things. But yeah, again, why would God make anyone a certain way to where he's like, no, actually I punish how I made you? There's chaos. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of random. But we need to connect with one another and sit with each other. Well, they just have these conversations. I think it's important. I'm not super intelligent. I don't look at myself in a beautiful light or anything like I'm so special. It's just, I've had a lot of events. I've had a lot of things, and who I naturally am, of course, that's going to make me question things. It's like, well, how did this happen? And how does everything operate and everything? Yeah, I'm not totally atheist because things are really weird. Really weird. Some strange, coincidences or whatever, serendipities or, synchronicities or whatever. Things are very weird. At the end of the day, we don't have the answers. That's what I need. I'm not Christian, and that's just for myself. I'm not going to say it for you, but for me, the big thing is I don't have all the answers, So, I need to admit there's a decent chance that my human form might be the end. I'd be very surprised if it is. I think that there are some strange things. I think there's a greater world. Not just like this universe, all the universes that may be out there, but like beyond the physical, I think that there are some strange things that we'll never be able to really measure and prove perfectly. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll get there at some point. But even, I still like to hold that belief. I've heard people, argue that, oh, if you don't have God, how do you have morality? There's no morality without it. And it's like, the way I see it, actually, those atheists that believe this is all we have, think about this. If this is all we have, it is so much more precious. And it's such a reason to treat each other with the utmost respect, with the utmost empathy and love, and really just think about how everyone views things and goes through things. You know? Yeah, I don't see it as that. That doesn't make sense. Oh, you don't have this set of rules, so nothing matters. No, exactly the opposite. Because I don't know what's happening and I don't know if this is all I am, I'm like, well, we need to be good with each other. We need to love each other and sit beside each other. And yeah, just with that, the aspects of whatever religion you practice, try to take that. Just be like, well, what are the nice things? Why do I have to focus on being nasty and excluding others because they don't happen to practice my religion, or they don't happen to have the same automatic behavior or, personal traits and everything that I have? It's like, well, the person or the God that you worship, sometimes they're vengeful, and sometimes people have these nasty views as, oh, punish the sinners and everything. But yeah, I just tried to take from that, from Vacation Bible School and things. It's like those little amounts of things. It's like, well, it's like, who was Jesus? Even though it's like, yeah, again, colonization messing up this place, and many places, indigenous folks being genocided and just changing their names and making them one of you and everything. It's very nasty, but, just those little parts of Christianity. It's like, well, Christ was said to be against these systems of oppression, and he really stood up. It's like, some people say that's the actual reason why he was crucified, not because, he was like, oh, I'm just dying for your sins. It's like, if you really look at it, it's actually, no, he was standing up for everyone and speaking a message that was not exactly accepted because it supported everyone and all sorts of things. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to say that it's just a little disheartening. I know I do have so much love. I have so much joy for. I see a lot of beautiful people, and there are sects of certain religions that are accepting of LGBTQ people and all sorts of people. Then the universal, there's like all these different churches and things where they're like, no, actually, it's not what we're about. We kind of switch things up a little bit. And it's like, why not? It's been like that. Again, Lucifer was added in the Middle Ages. There was no great cosmic devil until the Middle Ages. That was a lie told to us because it was just written in, because it was like, oh, this is kind of cool because we base it on other cultures and myths. It's like the whole thing about like there's some great lord of hell who has some power here. That's made up. But anyway, yeah, just love each other. Come on. Like, it's like, we don't know what all is going on here. There's so much mystery and curiosity. There are so many beautiful things to focus on with the rivers and the forests and the oceans and cognizant minds, sentient beings, animals, beautiful animals beside us. Let's sit together and try to love one another. That's like all I gotta say. I don't know. Try not to be nasty. Next time you get in a conversation that's heated, try to extend love. I love you all. Have a good day.